What do you do in the morning?
I'm always very busy in the morning. I'm always very busy in the morning. I sometimes watch the sunrise. I sometimes watch the sunrise. I often wake up at 6 a.m. I often wake up at 6 a.m. I usually stretch for a few minutes. I usually stretch for a few minutes. I sometimes do yoga. I sometimes do yoga. I sometimes go for a morning jog. I sometimes go for a morning jog. I often meditate for 10 minutes. I often meditate for 10 minutes. I seldom skip my skincare routine. I seldom skip my skincare routine. I usually exercise for at least 30 minutes. I usually exercise for at least 30 minutes. I normally take a quick, warm shower. I normally take a quick, warm shower. I regularly wash my hands to stay clean. I regularly wash my hands to stay clean. I often make my bed right away. I often make my bed right away. I almost always make coffee first thing. I almost always make coffee first thing. I usually make breakfast. I usually make breakfast. I always read the newspaper. I always read the newspaper. I occasionally skip breakfast if I'm late. I occasionally skip breakfast if I'm late. I often open the curtains to brighten the room. I often open the curtains to brighten the room. I frequently fold my blanket neatly. I frequently fold my blanket neatly. I regularly brush my teeth for 2 minutes. I regularly brush my teeth for 2 minutes. I normally wash my face with cold water. I normally wash my face with cold water. I occasionally try a new hairstyle. I occasionally try a new hairstyle. I typically put on makeup lightly. I typically put on makeup lightly. I commonly dry my hair. I commonly dry my hair. I habitually brush my hair until it's smooth. I habitually brush my hair until it's smooth. I usually eat a healthy breakfast. I usually eat a healthy breakfast. I usually have a smoothie for breakfast. I usually have a smoothie for breakfast. I sometimes enjoy sleeping in a little longer. I sometimes enjoy sleeping in a little longer. I typically have a cup of coffee to wake up. I typically have a cup of coffee to wake up. I generally spritz on some perfume. I generally spritz on some perfume. I occasionally have pancakes on Sunday mornings. I occasionally have pancakes on Sunday mornings. I always take my vitamins. I always take my vitamins. I commonly drink milk and have cereal. I commonly drink milk and have cereal. I habitually check my phone for updates. I habitually check my phone for updates. I often listen to upbeat music in the morning. I often listen to upbeat music in the morning. I usually read a few pages of a book. I usually read a few pages of a book. I frequently review my schedule while eating. I frequently review my schedule while eating. I normally prepare a snack for later. I normally prepare a snack for later. I commonly greet my neighbors on the way out. I commonly greet my neighbors on the way out. On weekends, I sometimes sleep in. On weekends, I sometimes sleep in. I typically drink orange juice if I skip breakfast. I typically drink orange juice if I skip breakfast. I habitually pack my lunch. I habitually pack my lunch. I frequently check my emails while having coffee. I frequently check my emails while having coffee. I habitually check the weather forecast for the day. I habitually check the weather forecast for the day. I normally grab a piece of fruit on my way out. I normally grab a piece of fruit on my way out. I rarely skip my morning tea. I rarely skip my morning tea. I never forget to pet my dog. I never forget to pet my dog. I usually water my indoor plants. I usually water my indoor plants. I never go out without sunscreen. I never go out without sunscreen. I always say goodbye to my family. I always say goodbye to my family. I frequently pick out a colorful outfit. I frequently pick out a colorful outfit. I rarely watch TV in the morning. I rarely watch TV in the morning. I never forget to feed my pet in the morning. I never forget to feed my pet in the morning. I rarely leave without my watch. I rarely leave without my watch. I rarely forget to lock the door. I rarely forget to lock the door. I usually catch the early bus. I usually catch the early bus. I occasionally stop for gas. I occasionally stop for gas. I usually leave the house by 8 a.m. to avoid traffic. I usually leave the house by 8 a.m. to avoid traffic. I occasionally stop for a pastry on my way. I occasionally stop for a pastry on my way. I usually start work at 9 a.m. I usually start work at 9 a.m. I often have a mid-morning snack at 10 a.m. I often have a mid-morning snack at 10 a.m.